Hi, my name's Neil Rao. I'm not very active in the percussion community, but a few people have asked me to make this video. When I auditioned at conservatories for my undergraduate degree, I received acceptance letters from the Curtis Institute of Music, Indiana University of Bloomington, the Eastman School of Music, and a few others. As you may know from watching my performance videos, I ended up at the Curtis Institute of Music. In this video, I hope to just demystify the application and audition process a little bit, and clear things up, and maybe give you some hope as to what might be in store for your future. If you're watching this, you're probably a high school age looking to get into the field of music, into a conservatory. Before we get to the audition itself, I want to talk about two things that are really important for selecting a school and getting in. The first is making a strong connection with the faculty member who you're auditioning for, and the second is making sure that that faculty member is the right fit for you as a musician. The main two ways of making a connection with the faculty member are through summer festivals and trial lessons. Many colleges and conservatories offer summer programs where you can play in either an orchestra or in an individual instrumental setting for the faculty of that university or conservatory. The Curtis Institute has such a program, the Eastman School has such a program. I personally have attended summer festivals at the Eastman School of Music, Indiana University, the Juilliard School of Music, and a percussion-oriented program called Chosen Vale, which is run by Doug Perkins, who now teaches at the University of Michigan. On top of all those summer festivals, I attended test lessons with various faculty members at different conservatories across the country. I had lessons with Richard Weiner, who was the percussion faculty at the Cleveland Institute of Music, Don Liuzzi, the timpanist of the Philadelphia Orchestra, and also faculty at the Curtis Institute of Music, and Alan Oddie. So what is a test lesson and how do you get one? In each of these cases, I emailed the professors myself and set up a time when we could meet and I could play for them. I found out that most professors are excited to meet new students and prospective students, and they were just as excited to meet as I was. Now, if this sounds both time-consuming and expensive, you're right. The total cost of all three of my lesson trips came out to about $1,000. Each of the summer festivals I mentioned cost over $2,000 to attend once you included room and transportation. I'm incredibly grateful to have had parents who could financially support me. While there are a decent amount of scholarships for summer festivals and other educational activities, there just isn't enough for everyone, unfortunately. What I would recommend if money is tight is to do some research, do a little bit of extra research, and find one thing that you can do that is a right fit for what you want to do as a musician. So I've talked a little bit about making a connection with the faculty where you're going to audition, and you might have noticed a little gap. Richard Weiner, Cleveland Institute of Music, I didn't get accepted there. What's going on? Well, I never ended up applying to the Cleveland Institute of Music. When I was auditioning for schools for undergraduate study, I didn't want to get an orchestra job. That wasn't my plan. I wanted to pursue a teaching career, I wanted to pursue a solo career and a chamber music career. And the Cleveland Institute of Music was really focused on getting their students orchestral jobs, which is a wonderful pursuit, and I'm incredibly proud of the people, my friends even, who have gotten jobs in orchestras through rigorous practice, rigorous study, and very, very focused work. But that simply wasn't my career goal, and since Richard Weiner was very focused on that, I didn't feel it was appropriate for me to study with him, so I never even applied to the Cleveland Institute. The schools that I did end up applying for, I felt all had a musical ecosystem that would support my career goals. So now that I've talked about connections and getting the right fit in your school, I want to talk about the audition and repertoire selection itself. The people you audition for are typically going to be the instrumental faculty for the instrument that you're auditioning on. All of these people, and let me make this clear, everyone you audition for wants you to play your absolute best. They want you to show up, play every note and rhythm exactly perfectly with exactly the right musical nuance that you have planned perfectly to the T. In practice, we're human, and that doesn't happen. Now, there are a ton of practice and preparation tips that I could give you right now which might help, but there are many videos out there that do a much better job of explaining that part of it. So instead, what I want to just offer is one little piece of advice, and that one thing is to give yourself as much time in advance as possible to prepare. I started working on my college audition repertoire when I was a junior in high school in my second semester. That gave me almost an entire year before I had to audition in person. I think that if I hadn't made that commitment of preparing so far in advance, that I would have had the success that I did. So now we can talk about repertoire selection. This is what my personal private studio asks me about the least, because I let them choose all of their music. But strangers on the internet tend to ask me a lot. How do you choose your audition repertoire? What pieces should I play? I don't want to copy your audition, but what did you audition with? It doesn't matter that much. It matters, but it's one of the least important factors when considering a student. The reason is simple. There are any number of pieces out there, most of which the faculty won't even know about, that you can use to demonstrate your skills on the instrument. Additionally, if you find some niche repertoire that's really high quality, but that the faculty doesn't know about, it'll show that you are really committed to the art form. So my thought process in selecting repertoire for myself was that I wanted to show off that I could learn as many pieces as they could throw at me and would continue to be able to do so. That's because in the life of a chamber musician and soloist, you're basically, as a percussionist, going to be a new music specialist. And that means learning new pieces constantly. Unfortunately, there was a pitfall in my repertoire selection. I chose pieces that were just way too hard for me to be playing. For my pre-screening tapes, I sent in Andrew Thomas's Merlin, which there's no reason a high school student should be playing that piece. It's simply too difficult. And for my live auditions on marimba, I performed Pius Chung's Etude in E minor, which, a lovely piece to be sure, is definitely not something that any high school student should be trying to do. It's simply not necessary to have those skills at that level. Now, if you're a prodigy on the instrument and you just sound like $1,000,000 playing those pieces, go for it. I didn't, so it was a mistake for me to choose those pieces. So to summarize all my points, number 1, make a meaningful connection with the faculty member, whether that's through a test lesson or a summer festival. This isn't necessary, but it lets them know that you're really committed to them and the art form. Number 2 is making sure you get the right fit. Choose a school that will help you reach your career goals. Don't just choose a school because it has a nice name. And lastly, whatever repertoire you end up choosing, make sure that you can play it to the best of your abilities to show the audition committee your skills. That's the most important part of anything I've told you. Play the repertoire you choose to the best of your abilities so that the faculty that you're auditioning for can see what you can do and see your potential. And that's why they would choose you, because they see a lot of potential in you to grow from when you come in as a freshman to when you graduate. I hope this demystifies what I think are some of the important steps that you can take as a student in high school to prepare for your collegiate auditions, especially at the conservatory level. It's very high stakes because it is a long-term educational investment, and it is very difficult because these conservatories are quite selective. I wish you luck. If you want to see more videos like this, or if you have any ideas for me of what videos I can make that might be more helpful, please let me know in the comments and subscribe.